So if you've had your F30 for a while, you'll likely be familiar with this scenario where you press your trunk release button and it barely goes up past the closing point, or you're opening it to do things in the trunk and it slowly sags down or closes down on your head or whatever. Anyway, in this video I'll show you how to replace the hydraulic strut, which the F30 only has one, and there are also two spring adjustments that can be made on the back to adjust the tension or the opening strength of the trunk. So the first thing you do is remove the weather lining. So if you can find a way to do it, I couldn't myself, but I also wanted to just include this as part of the tutorial to open up to take off the entire cover. But there could potentially be a way that you could just maybe fold over the top of that cover to replace the strut. But just for tutorial sake, I just went on and took the whole thing apart. Here's the spring on the driver's side where adjustments can be made. And also, as I mentioned before, there's an identical spring on the other side where you can make the same adjustments. So you'll notice the net, it has two hooks. Initially I thought that this was anchored in somewhere beyond the cover, but you don't have to worry about that. It just comes out completely with the cover. It's not anchored anywhere else in the car. So here there's a clip in the front of the cover that you'll need to remove. You'll have to pop the back seat, and to get access to this clip, it's right behind the headrest. So initially I did order a pair of struts from Amazon.com. Unfortunately, after I installed it, the trunk still was not popping up all the way. So I returned those and I went to the local O'Reilly's and I picked up a single Stabilis brand strut. And after I installed that, it still did not work. So that's where I'm going to show you how to adjust the springs. So in order to test, you do need to reinstall the trunk weather lining just to ensure that the trunk goes all the way back down. But at this point I just installed that only just to do a test. So in this example here, I did install the Stabilis trunk strut, and it still was not enough force, so I adjusted the spring. You can see you've got several different slots here that you can pull the spring hook into. This provides more pulling power or tension that actually pulls or lifts the gate. So I tried the top one first to see if it was enough adjustment. I ended up going to the most extreme adjustment, which was that hook near the rear. And actually the following day, I found that it still wasn't working again. So I did the passenger side spring adjustment as well. So here you can see that spring hook is in the furthest adjustment available. So that was enough to get it, like I said, the first time, and then the second day I had to do that for the passenger side as well. At this point you can reinstall everything. The passenger side, you don't have to remove the cover, you just remove the battery cover, and you can actually reach up in there and detach the spring and then pull it to that furthest point for that final adjustment. So here you just remove this cover, you reach up and you feel around, you grab the end of that spring and pull it to that furthest adjustment point. That may be all you need to do if your hydraulic strut is just not performing that well. The springs could be all you need to do and you don't have to buy a new strut at all. So you could test this first. And here you can see I actually pulled everything apart and didn't need to. But that's it. Those 3 points, your strut, both springs, are what you can do to resolve this issue. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.